Okay, so I'm thinking about like freaking 0 ban list sidewalk slam.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah.
It's the Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 482. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. We're going to finish off talking about the ban list. Now hit our theme song! Hey Ryan, we're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole bunch is going down. We got events that we are yet to go to that we have already been to because of time travel to talk about. We got some big things coming up in the future. We got more ban list talk plus some input from the nation. But before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your favorite?
Yes.
Place for all your gaming needs, where you can use special promo code CCO Holiday to save 5% off all your banned stuff, non-banned stuff, or soon-to-be banned stuff.
Or soon-to-be unbanned stuff.
That's much better. And I should say, want to say a special thanks to Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They are the second coolest thing to come out of Regina, as well as being the official beer sponsor for CCO Sidewalk Slam Season 3. Available now on YouTube.
Oh man, Sidewalk Slam, so fun. Got lots of good compliments on the CCO Lounge after party when we were talking about the game. Lots of jokes, lots of compliments on the player intros. If you want to be a player on Sidewalk Slam, patreon.com/CCO Podcast. That's where you go. Hop on a benefit tier there. There's a couple different levels. They got a bunch of different benefits. Discord, Sidewalk Slam, CCO Experience coming up. All of those benefits to becoming a patron. Plus, you're supporting the awesome show that you see here, along with all of the other stuff on the CCOMG. And you allow us to be here, along with producer Gary and the whole Dufferin Avenue Media Network team.
Studio.
Very much.
Yes, we did it.
So we're here. Yep, Pile of Bones. I've got some Pile of Bones for you.
Ooh,
we're going to drink some.
I am excited.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, like that stuff, like Fusion, CCO Holiday, still in effect, even though we're coming into spring. You can probably hear it. I'm on allergy meds right now.
Is spring? Is there a holiday in spring? Easter.
She's coming.
Easter is what it is.
Zombie Jesus Day, baby.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, so speaking of zombies, I want to get right into it.
Oh, shit.
We don't have any zombies on the banned list.
Not a single one?
Actually, no. I want to stay on zombies here.
Okay.
But I'm taking it in a different direction.
Okay.
We're going to be zombies every morning that we wake up in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, I hope we get to stay in another weird mansion with like a derelict limousine in the driveway.
I bet you there was dead people in that limousine before.
100%. There was decaying bodies in that thing.
Dumped in the middle of a desert.
Smell was. They just left the gas on so it wouldn't smell the dead people in the limo.
Oh.
And there was a pool and palm trees that were real, which is very exciting to me, and a little like beach set up with a thing. And we're going to do that all again in Vegas this June.
Fuck,
I'm excited.
And it's 20th, right?
The desert in June. Woo, I hope I'm not the only one that's super pumped for that.
You know what? I definitely have had people say I'm not going to Vegas because it's June.
Oh, come on.
Those people can eat my whole ass.
It's so cool when you're inside the building.
What you'll have to do, like many a booster box and or booster pack,
just open it and throw yourself in the garbage.
I was going to say swim in the pool. Oh. You can go back on the CCO backlog of shorts to find some booster boxes that may or may not have gone for a drink.
Yeah, they were thirsty.
Yeah, so
love that chlorine.
Planning for the CCO Experience Las Vegas, our biggest show of the year, the biggest Magic show of the year, has started. It's in the Discord. I've made a thread for it called Vegas 2025. I am going to be collecting names of interested individuals. I'm going to be starting the shopping for a house or houses. Ooh. Yep.
I get to help with that. It always makes me excited.
We've looked into prices for flights, and for us, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad, which is always the biggest expense for us. But if you want to get in on it, Get in the Discord. If you're a Patreon supporter and not in the Discord because you are older than Brando and hate technology, I don't think that that's anybody, but
Listen,
if that's you, send us an email or send us a Patreon message and let us know if you can drive, if you have a back and can carry the backpack that has beer in it, if you're a chef and would like to cook, or if you want to contribute in any way. If you've got your own special set of merch that you'd like us to show off, like we did with Scott's Dice one year.
Yeah.
If you make tokens, if you want to contribute in any way, of course, we're always open and welcome in the nation. And coffee.com, great place to donate. If you want to buy anybody a beer, you can make a donation there. And then, of course, say who the donation's for, as well as commandercookout.com. There is a place to donate. And usually leading up to the CCO experiences, we do get some donations come in with little messages. Hey, buy a beer for people in the house, or get a 12-pack on me, or whatever, right?
And nothing but the best 7s available. In the
oh, no, they're 3s now.
Oh, yeah, right. It's going to be hard to get used to that.
Frick.
Because it's 3, and I'll hit you with some brandology. 3 is a much lower number than 7.
Well, you know what?
I don't know if I'm comfortable calling people 3s. I don't know, man.
But it's 3 out of 4. Still like in the 70th percentile.
It's like 3 out of 5.
Well, no, but we
It's
don't.
in the 50th percentile.
Listen, if we have to ask what a 5 is, we're playing 4s, right? So
That's
it's
true.
basically they're in the 70th percentile.
Oh.
And what's a 7.1 versus 7.5? Like there's 3s, that's 75. It's the same. Bunch of fucking 3s.
Yeah, it's a bunch of 3s.
So CCO experience, I'm super excited. I got to get a TV graphic for it. You'd see the TV graphics if you're watching on YouTube.
Which it should be.
Yeah. Okay.
Zombies. Oh, we're going to be zombies.
Yeah, we're going to be zombies.
I was like,
yeah.
are you going to talk about a zombie card soon? I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, man.
But then you didn't.
You know what? We missed
Zombie Master. Sorry. That's the other card I was thinking about yesterday on the pre-show when I opened 2 zombies. I got a Crypt Breaker and a Zombie Master. Those are the 2 secret layer extra bonus 5th cards that I got.
Zombie Master's actually pretty good.
In old border foil,
Zombie
it definitely has new art. They both definitely have new art.
Zombie
as well.
Master has is the one that gives him Swamp Walk, right?
Swamp Walk and is a zombie, it turns out, as opposed to the other printings of it. +1/+1 Swamp Walk.
Great in your Golgari zombie decks where you can just go get a land and you get Urborg, so then your zombies are unblockable.
Yeah.
Great when you have Expedition Map and you can just go and get your Urborg and make your zombies unblockable. And Urborg is a card that you want to get anyways because Cabal coffers.
That's right.
So math checks out. Zombie Master, he's good in zombie decks.
Zombie Master, good card. Crypt Breaker, also actually a good card that I play, but still disappointing. And if you want to know why it's disappointing, watch the pre-show.
Watch the pre-show. I'm going to be a freaking Zombie Master in Las Vegas. Yeah, bitches. Maybe we'll go to Fremont Street.
We always go to Fremont Street.
I just stay at the house and drink beer and eat flaming hot Doritos because I'm a fucking nerd.
See, I go to Fremont Street and I get kicked out of the bar.
Grinded on by thong-wearing Pikachu.
No, he wasn't wearing a thong. He just had 3 arms.
Ooh.
Like actually.
Then one of those was not his arm, Brando.
Well, yeah, man. That means that his wang was in like the Pikachu arm of the costume, and he somehow managed to articulate it. That's impressive.
That is pretty
Vegas
good.
is a wild place.
Yeah. So the band list.
The band list.
Okay, so we talked about a good fair Pikachu Dinkin number of cards last week. We got all the way down to Reoccurring Nightmare. That is a banned card that you purchased from Fusion Gaming Online.
You sound like an idiot.
Well, maybe it'll get unbanned. We were making a good case for unbans last week. I want everything unbanned. Turns out the people on YouTube comments and Reddit and Facebook want less things unbanned than your good friend Ryan.
Even Power 9 and Dexterity cards and one of the cards that we're going to talk about today, meaning this one.
Yeah, dude, I want to play a frickin'...
Even this one? Don't even say what it does. But
no, not that one.
Everybody knows what I'm talking. So the ban list in it should be 1 card.
Yes.
And it's that one.
Maybe. Ban list should maybe be like 3 cards.
Ooh. What are the other 2? Not that one. What are the other 2?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay,
I haven't thought about it yet.
I
haven't thought about it yet, but listen, I want to play frickin' Sidewalk Slam with no band list.
Well, how are we going to do that? We can't afford it.
Who do we know that's got frickin' Power 9? I know a couple guys that got Power in the city.
There's Geoff, I think, has some.
Let's do it.
And
F.U. Joel's got it. We'll get him to ship it in the mail.
Just he might. He doesn't play Magic no more.
Yeah.
What about Jesse Spears? Actually, I think still has some.
No, he got rid of his right before it spiked, and he was like, "I'm an idiot. I could have bought a mansion."
Yeah,
he sold his power for like $280,000 less than what he could have. Whatever. He still made like $300,000.
Can you imagine that, like, that hit to your God damn?
Oh yeah, he moved to Poland for like a year and nobody even saw him. Yep. I think he was depressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I do is move to. I don't know if I'd move to Poland.
Well, maybe like Czechia, somewhere they got beer. Poland, they drink more vodka, I think.
I'd pick somewhere like pretty freaking cool that's not too expensive. I'd go to like a Scotland, because like I hear that traveling in Scotland isn't too expensive as compared to other places in
super
UK.
Cheap. Yep.
And you can stay for not very much, as opposed to somewhere like Ireland, where Ireland is very expensive to stay in as a tourist.
Let me ask you something.
So
you like rain? You like snow?
No.
Clouds? Wind? Cold? Don't go to those places that you just said.
But I live here.
Go to wherever Raphaelos Llanowar Emissary lives. He's our first card.
He lives in the jungles of Peru.
A.K.A. Llanowar.
Yes.
Okay, so he's a 2/1 elf druid. You might have recognized those creature types as good ones before.
Yep.
For green, and has tap, add green to your mana pool for each forest you control.
That's obscene.
This guy is banned. He was on the banned as a commander list when that existed.
Which is why he is still banned now.
Yes. Now, I ask you this. If this guy was downgraded from banned and put onto the Game Changers list as in the 99 of your probably green-black Lathril elf deck, does this one guy make that big of a difference? Keeping in mind, green is the creature tutor color and black is the tutor color.
I think he still would. I would, in my head, I think I would leave this banned because we have Gaia's Cradle on a creature, and I think that's fine. You know what I mean?
And Gaia's Cradle on the Game Changers list.
Yes. Like, I feel like we've got we don't need two of these when one of them is probably better, and there's a land, much like Urborg, that supports it now. And you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this one's fine to kind of just... If they printed it today, I'd be like, man, what a fucking dink card. But I wouldn't say ban it. But since it's banned,
it also wouldn't cost... It wouldn't cost green today. It would probably cost like green 2, green 3.
Like green 1.
And he'd be a 3/3.
He'd be a 5/5
or something.
And haste.
Yeah, haste. Indestructible. Protection from everything. Damage can't be prevented.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? Raphaelos, to me, feels a lot like Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt and Mana Vault. It's like, how much redundancy at the make lots of green mana very early in the game slot do you need? You've got not Tolarian Academy, Gaia's Cradle dot creature. You've got elves coming out every orifice of your body that tap for green. You've got the Itlamok, Cradle of whatever.
Yep.
That one.
Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah, that also like kind of draws you a card.
It's Gaia's Cradle that could find this
now
and then play this and then flip itself over.
Yeah. Now, I know that all of those things aren't a land, don't cost 1 or don't cost 2 like Raphaelos. I know that those things cost like 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But this feels like a redundancy that jumps you from 2 or 3 mana to like 8 or 9 mana. And it's just another one of those things that does it.
Just for playing it, too. Like, by the time, Greaves aside, if you just play this on curve, when you untap and then play a land on turn 3, you have 6 mana.
That's lots.
That's a lot of frickin' mana, especially when it's all colored. And if you're playing just green, as you would if this was your commander, let's say.
Ooh.
That is backbreaking. That is a backbreaking card, and that's why this is probably still banned. If it was non-legendary, we could probably unban it.
You think so?
I think so. If
why,
it was unlegendary,
why does that matter?
Because then it can't be your commander.
Can't be your commander.
Having it in the command zone guarantees you 6 mana on turn 2 in virtually every game, unless you keep a really shitty hand.
Yes. All you need is 2 or 3 lands.
This card is so good you don't need non-basic lands in your deck.
Ooh, yeah. I had actually 2 questions for you. Is green the color that you play the most basics in your monocolor deck?
Yes.
As a percentage of total lands?
Yep.
You think?
Yep. Because I on purpose in my mono red decks play lots of non-basics, because when I Blood Moon and turn them all into mountains, it doesn't hurt me. I don't care.
Yes.
I get all the benefits of having all these lands that do all this stuff, even if it's totally irrelevant to what I'm doing. And what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to
Blood
turn
moon?
into a fucking land. It's going to turn
Yeah.
into a mountain.
Yeah, that's it. And the second question is, does turning Raphalos into Raphalos?
Whatever.
Raphaos?
How do you say the Hulk actor's name? Ruffalo. This is Raphalos. Thanks, producer Gary.
Yep. Ruffalo, Llanowar, Hulk emissary. If we make him not legendary, does that make him better or worse, command zone notwithstanding? Is he... You can't find him with Time of Need, which is your green legendary creature tutor.
It's one tutor you can't find him with. But on the other hand, I guess
I could clone him.
Yeah, you could clone him. But let's face it, all of the new clones don't give a shit if they're legendary.
True.
In my Coma deck, I think there's 7 clones, and I can clone Coma with every fucking one of them.
Ooh, you play a Renicus via duplication?
Goddamn right
I
do.
like that one because
Yeah,
it gives
I
him
do.
flying.
It gives him flying also.
I
It
clone a Bruvac with that guy.
makes a better clone of the thing you're cloning.
Yes.
Makes him better because it
Yes.
flies now.
Yes, I cloned Bruvac with that before, and Mill quadruple.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mill 10 equal Mill 40.
That's pretty good.
Mill 13 is like Mill 50, whatever. Man, that's like your whole library. You just
52?
freaking lose.
Is
Something
what
like
it is,
that. Something
52?
like that.
I'm
yeah.
not great at
So,
cards.
Raphalos, you're saying keep him banned?
I think so.
You know-
only because he's legendary. Only because we're not doing a banned as commander list. So I would keep him banned just because 6 mana, turn 2, or turn 3, every single game is just... People talk, oh, the speed of a mana, Jeweled Lotus, or of a turn 1 Sol Ring or whatever. That's only 4 mana.
That's 5 mana on turn 2. This guy puts you at 6 mana on turn 3.
And then 8 mana
If
on
you-
turn 4
if
and
you-
10 mana on turn 5.
If you also didn't ramp on turn 1.
Yeah, if you haven't ramped, yeah.
If you did a mana crypt or vault,
No.
or if you did, can you imagine like forest, mana crypt if it was still legal into Signet, turn 2 Raphalos after a forest.
Yeah.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana on turn 2, 8 mana on turn 2, whatever the math says.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
not burst mana. That shit just sticks around.
That just sticks around. And you know what?
You could gen wave for 10 on turn 3.
8, that's pretty good.
But that's not bad. I used to be 8. But
Whatever.
still, that's a lot.
This guy being legendary, I hate doing this. It's like getting a purple nurple. I don't like it. But I would say let's leave him banned. If he wasn't legendary, I would take him off. And you know what? I think this is the first legend we've discussed at length, because if he wasn't legendary, he wouldn't be as big of an issue. Maybe that's all of them though, right?
Well, I think most of them are, they're kind of, a lot of the other commanders are kind of feel bad commanders. We talked about the one that
Leovold.
counters every spell, and
Yeah.
Leovold Flying Man, and
No, that's Trest, Flying Man. Leovold is the one that like makes you so you can't draw.
oh yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, whatever the hell that guy is. And there was the other lady that just ruins your life, Braids.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of feel baddie. Raphalos represents my deck is stronger than fucking yours because I have more mana than you do, and that's just it.
And that's the exact reason cited why Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus and potentially Mana Vault and
I would
Dockside, that's the reason that all of those were banned.
And
right?
I would agree with all of that if you could play them in your command zone. But you can't, so I don't. If Raphalos could be just, if he was just Elf Raphalos Emissary, or Raphalos' Emissary, and it was a non-legendary 2/1
yeah,
for
if he
2,
was just Llanowar Emissary.
yeah,
just that.
which is another card, but you know what I mean.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why it's Raphalos' Emissary. But I think that would be a very powerful card. I think that there'd be lots of discussion about it, and people would be talking about it in the same breath as things like Dockside. But I think that you could still get away with playing it.
Yeah.
And last week, if you listened, I was on team like leave Dockside banned, like whatever, I'm fine with it. And I guess he would be held in the same kind of account. But if they were to just print Raphalos' Emissary today, I'd be fine with it, and then it would eventually get banned because...
No, it wouldn't. Fuck.
Nah, it wouldn't, actually. It wouldn't, because it doesn't scale for 3 other players like Dockside does.
Yeah. Next card.
Here, this is the one.
I actively do not like this card.
I thought it was hilarious when I read it the first time.
When you were a younger Magic player, right?
And we talked about it last week.
It's
how
Scheherazade.
I took it to the Dude Bros.
Yeah.
And everybody around the table, when I said Scheherazade, they're all like, oh my God, except for the new guy who was like, what's Scheherazade do? And we told him, I was like, that sounds fucking awesome. And then we explained to him why it's not awesome. And he was like, oh, yeah, like I still think that's really cool.
I'll give it a read.
But I understand why we ban it.
White, sorcery. Players play a magic sub-game using their libraries as their decks. Each player who doesn't win the sub-game loses half their life rounded up. Okay, so you leave everything on the table. I'm going to Cole's Notes this shit because at the end of this Cole's Notes, we're going to say stays banned.
Yeah, stays banned.
Okay, you take the remainder of your deck and you put everything that's currently in the game, your hand, exiled, everywhere.
Graveyard, everything.
It's fucking over here. Shuffle your deck up, play another game. The winner...
Go back to 40, play another game.
Yeah. The winner of that game, nothing happens.
Yep.
And then what happens after? You just shuffle up those cards and they're your library again? Like, there's so much baggage with this. And then, as if like, oh man, the loser of that game.
The
losers of that game lose half their life. And then you go back to the first game. As if there's not already enough wrong with that. You frickin' take up everybody's time, everybody's space. You don't lose if you lose the sub game.
No.
You just freaking lose half your life. It's ridiculous.
In the real game.
The real game.
Yeah.
And if all of your best cards or your win cons are in your hand waiting to be spent in the real game because you're going to win, you're going to lose the sub game and lose half your life, and then you're going to go back to the real game and cast the stuff that's in your hand to win. You're just going to win anyway. So Scheherazade doesn't do anything except make the game go literally forever because you don't have your win con in the sub game. It's the stupidest, most ridiculous card that should never have been even thought into existence. And that's me saying that.
Yeah.
And I don't say that kind of shit like ever. Scheherazade is ridiculous. And it's $500.
Yeah. And let's not even go into the fact that anybody who's going to play this, we all know what they're really going to do. They're going to go Scheherazade, and everybody's going to go, make the face.
Ugh.
And then they're going to go fork. Make the face again. Make it harder.
Ugh.
Then they're going to go twin cast.
Oh.
And then you're going to play a sub game of a sub game of a sub game.
I quit.
And everybody's going to quit the game, and nobody's having a good time. And fuck everybody.
Yeah.
This card sucks, and actually, the card doesn't suck. The card is hilarious. The fact it exists is amazing.
Yes.
But it should stay banned and be banned everywhere, as it is, for every reason that Ryan just outlined.
For everywhere, for everyone, for all time.
Yes. It should have a very strong name and a very blatant hometown, and it should fucking stay there.
Yes.
And the town, Bandville.
Oh, I wonder if that's a real place. Probably it is.
It might be.
Sundering Titan.
Oh, this one and the next one. We're going to talk about them individually because they are very different cards. Sundering Titan is a 7/10.
That's pretty big.
For 8 colorless. When it enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, for each basic land type, you destroy a land of that type. This card is absolutely outrageous, and I would suggest deserves the banning that it got. What do you think?
Enters or leaves, choose a land of each basic land type and destroy them. Man alive, hey? Yeah. This can get all the lands if you info-flicker it, right?
Yes.
It can get everything because you pick, and the things you picked are, yes.
Now, it is you have to pick one of each if available.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually you will have to start killing your own shit. But like, if you're info-flickering of this Titan, you're probably doing okay. And you're probably going to stop flickering it after all of your opponent's land are dead.
My question was, if one of the basic land types isn't present, it says right here, it just isn't frickin' chosen, and you continue to sunder.
Yeah. So as long as you're not the only one playing mountains, you're fine.
Yeah.
And if somebody plays something like, I don't know, an Urborg or a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth.
If your land is more than one basic land type, it can also be choosed
twice.
More than one time, exactly. So if I'm playing like black and you're playing a tri-land and one of those land types is a swamp, I can choose your swamp and your island if they're the same card, right? Mm-hmm. So like there's so many different options, and it happens on enter and exit, and it's not targeted, and you can't do anything when the ability starts to resolve. Like you can't tap and respond to it once it starts to resolve. So, oh man, this card is...
There's people out there saying right now, they're saying,
oh, it's fine, it costs 8. You have to purposely build around it to abuse it. You have to blink it. It's a stacks card. It's actually a win con. There's reasons to play this card for sure. But like so many other things on the list, when Sundering Titan goes into your deck, you're already doing things that Sundering Titan cares about. Destroying lands, blinking, locking your opponents out. And this just gives you a really good way to do that. And a really good way to lock them, because you probably have a bounce engine, like able to, oh, you played a land for turn, I'm going to flicker Sundering Titan.
Kill it.
Continue to lock them out. And C, or 3, whatever list I was counting on, also gives you a really good way to kill them, because it's like pretty big.
It's a 7/10. It's going to attack into virtually anything and kill it and survive, or it's going to block virtually anything, kill it, and survive.
Yeah.
And I have a deck right now today, and it's not necessarily a super polished good blink deck, but I'll bet you in that deck I could tap 8, play this, kill 5 lands, blink it before combat, kill 5 more lands. It's going to come back at the end of my turn, kill 5 more lands, and then I'm going to blink it again and kill 10 more lands. And that's just if I've played the cards in my deck already. And that isn't a 10-card combo I talked about, it's 3. So... And I've killed 25 lands for 8 mana. That's pretty good.
The other thing, too, and this just goes into all of the comments and discussion I saw as to, like, why people think or why this or why that. Like, maybe we didn't explain enough things last time because we were trying to do cards en masse. But a lot of cards like Sundering Titan have some kind of clause that say, if it would go into your graveyard, shuffle it back in instead. Or when it hits your graveyard, shuffle it or shuffle your graveyard back in.
Eldrazi Titans.
Yeah, and they make it so you can't like entomb and then reanimate them on turn frickin' 2, right? Sundering Titan doesn't have that either.
Yeah.
So that's just another kind of thing on the list of why it's really powerful. Because if you can get a Sundering Titan out like turn 2 and destroy virtually every single land on the table, and or if you're pairing it with, like you do at high power tables, a lot of mana rocks, you might not actually be behind that much if you're first or among the first players to play, where you've deployed mana rocks before other players have. If you kill their lands, they can't get their mana rocks out that they had planned their game around playing.
Yep.
So there's all these reasons, right? Sundering Titan, though, if you compare it to things that lock games out or win games or reset games that I said unban last week, like Worldfire, which is unbanned, Biorhythm. I'm thinking of Wildfire, destroy 4 lands of every player and then deals 5 damage to each creature or some shit.
Is it 6? Is it more than that?
There's
you're
cards,
right.
There's cards like Wildfire that deal damage to every creature and destroy a whole bunch of lands. Yeah. There's a card called Devastation that destroys all lands of a certain type.
Yep.
Well, if you just play Urborg Devastation, like that does the same thing. Yep. Armageddon is another one. This costs 8. Armageddon costs 4. It ain't banned.
Ruination we've talked about a bunch of times on the show.
Ruination. Yep. So I'm not saying Sundering Titan should be banned because land destruction's bad. I'm saying
it's so easy to it's when it enters and when it leaves. It can be played in every single deck. And it's very easy to maneuver. And it's an artifact. So it's so easy to bounce in and out of play and hand. And like it's ridiculous. It's much more ridiculous than the next card we're going to talk about. That one might be one of
my last thing about Sundering Titan.
Hit me.
Unban it. Fuck them.
No, I don't.
Fuck them.
No, I don't. Ryan's wrong on this one. I'm going to...
Next up.
Okay. This one you could maybe make a case for.
Sway the Stars, baby.
Oh, no, wait. I think we're...
Sway the Stars is like Worldfire, kind of. Okay, so this is blue, 8. Count it. That's 10.
That's 10.
Kind of like Worldfire in that like echelon of mana cost. Sorcery, kind of like Worldfire.
Yep.
Each player shuffles their hand, graveyard, and permanents into their library, then draws 7. Each player's life total becomes 7. Kind of like Worldfire. Okay.
Here's the difference. I'm going to tell you the difference.
I like this card.
The difference between Sway of the Stars and Worldfire is Worldfire typically will end the game on the spot.
Yes.
Usually the damage that you need to do, the one, is already happening. It's already demonstrated. It's happening. The game is over, but there's a step there's a step in the stack that has to get
And it's
resolved.
called Worldfire.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sway of the Stars is different in that 7 is a lot harder to float in the air and demonstrate than 1.
Yes. And you're putting everybody back to the start of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's...
And Worldfire it fucks you up. Like it exiles all your shit. It doesn't restart the game. Whereas Sway of the Stars restarts the game,
Yes.
except the game starts at 7.
Let me read Worldfire real quick. Red, 6, sorcery. Exile all permanents. Exile all cards from all hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1.
Oh.
So Worldfire completely blanks everything. And this is if you and I were playing Worldfire, this is how it goes. Worldfire. Everybody goes to 1. Exile all your shit. Go.
Yep.
If I don't have 1 damage on the stack.
Yeah.
Go. You say, draw, go. Draw, go. Draw, go. Draw, land, go.
Yeah.
Draw, land, go. And it's fast, and we all get to contribute kind of like top deck mode. Sway of the Stars says, hey, start the game over, except you're at 7.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I've got 7 cards in hand, and it's a new game. Except for everything that was exiled. Like,
yes.
maybe if I exiled all your stuff with like a Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Well, we haven't exiled anything. Except, I guess, if you exile the graveyard, then you can't get it.
Like prior to Sway of the Starsing, if I exile a bunch of your stuff in mass, or if you're playing against like what's the red-black guy that draws from exile?
Prophet? No,
I want to say Usher, but I know that guy's a different guy.
that's a different Holman.
That's
Homie. Imagine if you were playing
Prosper.
Let's say we're playing Leyline of the Void.
Oh yeah,
And then milling them.
Sway of the Stars makes that guy's
then
game worse.
That's real good. But
Sway of the Stars essentially gives you like a secondary game at 7 life.
It's Scheherazade, but for real stakes.
Man, if Scheherazade and Worldfire had a baby, Sway of the Stars.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes.
Fucking ban them all.
Yep. And I used to play, we talk about Worldfire, I used to play Obliterate and Decree of Annihilation in the same deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually a game I was playing with you and Jesse, and I played both of them in the same game, and I lost.
Well, of course, because people are trying to pound you. Slap your lips into the dirt. Stomp your dink right through your butthole.
And it happened.
Turn it into up like an innie.
I look like a glove.
Yeah.
Inside out glove. It was real weird.
Yeah, with one finger.
Yeah.
One finger the size of someone's arm.
That's right. Sway of the Stars. I think we can just...
Last word on Sway of the Stars?
I think Sway of the Stars, we could honestly, I think we probably could unban it.
Fucking ban it.
But I can see why it is banned.
I can see why it's banned. Unban it.
But I think you could probably get away with unbanning that. Because somebody's going to play it one time in their friend group, and people are just going to be like, yeah, man, fuck you.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, how many games when it's turn 8 would you mind like playing a sudden death round? This is sudden death in Super Smash Bros. Sway of the Stars, baby. We're all at 7. Go.
This isn't sudden death. Worldfire is sudden
death.
death. This isn't sudden death. This is like restarting, and you have time to because how often do you take 7 damage in the first 4 or 5 you
know what? Sway the Stars makes Commander feel like limited. Let's get your chip-ins, kids. We always say that.
I hate limited.
Unban Sway the Stars. Next card. Sylvan Primordial.
This is the one.
This is Primetime's little brother.
This is Primetime's little brother who had like everything given to him when he was a little kid, and now he's just an asshole.
Sylvan Primordial is Primetime's sexy sister. That's what I think.
No, I don't think he's. I think he's the asshole little brother. Let me read him. Let me read him.
Okay, read him.
He's a 6/8 avatar for green 5 with reach.
Ooh,
Giants with reach.
Yeah, sisters giving reach rounds. Love it.
Comes into play. For each opponent, you destroy target non-creature permanent that player controls.
Each opponent, yeah.
Then me, the controller of Sylvan Primordial, searches through my deck for a forest and puts it into play.
For each one of those things.
For each one of the things that I kill.
So you get like 3 things.
Yes.
3 forests, so your guy costs like 4 for a 6/8 with reach.
Well, they're tapped.
Sure.
You can get around
You get them on layaway. You get them on layaway. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's about total mana spent versus gained, right?
And this is also important. It's not a basic forest. It's just a forest.
Ooh,
So you can find tri-lands, shock lands, dual lands, whatever you want.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So,
Okay.
very good.
This guy's good because he essentially, this is better Terastildon
Yep.
that gives your opponents 0 benefit.
Yep. And gives you lots of
All
benefit.
of the benefits.
And this thing can block a Terastodon. Won't kill it, but it won't die either.
Okay, Sylvan Primordial, very good.
Yeah, I think that this one, you see all the arguments that we had for
Prime time?
not prime. Actually, the prime time example is different.
I think people compare them too much.
I think that people assume these cards are too similar. This is much more close to Sundering Titan, where if you have a way of recurring and playing, and again, green isn't that much far off of being an artifact. I can think of 4 or 5 cards off the top of my head that'll put this back into my hand from the bin after I sack it to make, I don't know, 7 mana.
Never mind, you could play this with Erratic Portal. You just pay to bounce it and just don't pay the 1 with Erratic Portal and you just play it again.
Yeah, and you're getting so much advantage over time while putting your opponents so far behind. I'm not saying it's so egregious and so abusable. I think that Sundering Titan is a different level of magnitude of like bad card. So maybe I could see unbanning this, but I kind of don't want to.
I like this little game that I just made up with the last card is if Primetime and Sundering Titan had a baby, it would be Sylvan Primordial.
Yep.
Almost exactly.
Absolutely.
You're splitting the mana cost exactly. You've got, in Sylvan Primordial, you've got Primeval Titan's power, and you've got the differential in power and toughness like Sundering Titan has. You've got to destroy a bunch of stuff for each opponent that Sundering Titan has, and you've got the find lands that Primeval Titan has.
And if people are
that's
gonna
pretty
ask,
cool.
Hey, Brando, would you play Sylvan Primordial? I have 3 foil ones that I had to take out of decks immediately after they were banned. So I have played this card. I've seen the looks on my friends' faces played this card, and I don't miss it. I will say that.
I took my foil Primetime and my foil Sylvan Primordial out of the same deck when they got banned sequentially. And those were decks that just played green dumb idiots because I'm a dumb idiot and wasn't doing anything like egregious with them. I was just playing them because they're hyper powerful Magic cards.
And if you could, on its face, it does all those things that we said. I'm gonna channel Aiden a little bit.
Okay.
Our friend Aiden, who loves the lands decks.
Yep.
If you were to put this into a deck with, say, a Scoot Swarm or a Omnath Locus of Rage or some other landfall payoff, that also gives you 3 additional landfall payoffs that could be backbreaking depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah, and man, you know what? I'm always just drawing comparisons on like cost elevation and abilities and how powerful or what those abilities are. And it's like the Terastodon comparison I think is great. Like last week's Hull Breacher and Notion Thief. Different things, different mana costs. I know. They're not strict comparisons. But I can pay less mana to get a better effect than Terastodon and still like tussle with a Terastodon.
Yeah.
This card is clearly better than that one.
Yes.
And
by a lot.
But at the same time,
it costs less, is almost as big, and does better stuff.
But at the same time, how much would I see this card? Like, how much am I going to run into this card? Not very much, I don't think. There's so many cards.
Well, how often do you run into Terastodon?
Never.
Well, I run into Terastodon sometimes. But I don't know. I think that people would play this shit.
And they would abuse it.
For sure they
Absolutely, they would abuse it. They would abuse it like people assume Tarmogoyf is lots of money. Price memory, right?
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf used to be a $100 card. Now it's $6.
Yeah.
People used to say, oh, Sylvan Primordial is the best green card in Commander. And people would be like, oh, must be good. I'm going to put it in my deck. And then they'd find out, oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, Time Vault.
I feel like Time Vault is an obvious...
Stay banned because you take infinite turns with it?
Yeah. Okay. It's infinite turns right on it as long as you have a way to untap an artifact.
Okay.
Which is like, shut up and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, Time Walk. We're not talking about Power 9 because Time Walk, extra turn for 2 mana, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Especially if I fork it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if I frickin' Narset's Reversal it. Because then I can do it again.
See all the things we said about Scheherazade, but just for you, and then you win the game. You fork it.
Okay. Tinker.
Tinker is...
I love this card.
Okay, let me say my bit on Tinker first, and then your turn. So I think that with Tinker, it should stay banned because of the same reasons that, and I'm going to catch shit for this, that Primetime should be banned. Because I think that Tinker, if legal, would limit design space when you're making Commander stuff. Because the instant you pick a super duper I win immediately artifact card, turn 1 every game, Tinker. And you can't have that. You just can't have that in existence. I know there are other cards that do it, but this is the one that they chose to get rid of.
You could say that about Jeweled Lotus too, right? Yeah. If there's some like 2-card with your commander, 2-card with your 3-cost commander, and you could do that turn 1 with Jeweled Lotus and another mana rock, like whatever. It's like, yeah, Jeweled Lotus for that reason limits design space on 3-drop commanders. The same can be said of Tinker. Okay, so let's read it. It's a sorcery for blue 2 as an additional cost. Additional cost, mind you, not part of the effect. Additional cost. Sack an artifact, and then what you do is search your library for an artifact card and put that onto the battlefield. So Tinker Blightsteel or Tinker Darksteel was the vintage combo a long time ago because it's 2-puncher.
Yep.
But then it became Tinker Blightsteel because it's a 1-puncher because it deals 11 infect to you.
And that's on turn 1.
That same exact thing would actually happen quite a bit in Commander. I think if you open your hand, if you open the game with Tinker and a mana rock, you can get your Darksteel out on turn 2. Because lo and behold, you sacrifice the artifact mana rock. Yes. You already have it built in.
Yeah, and then you play the artifact lands, and Bob is my uncle, which is still true.
Yep.
And and the most powerful artifacts haven't even been printed yet, but they're coming. And I think that Tinker is like a little, because somebody's going to go, Tinker. What if they tinker this into play, you guys? Then we can't print this ludicrous Dr. Octopus's arms card. And I know that they've already spoiled that.
Dr. Octopus's smelly armpit times 8.
It's just
Octopit.
Right? Then the people who are paying them all the money to advertise on all the Magic cards are going to be mad because their cards aren't very good, because they left Tinker legal, and because money, they'll have to leave that shit banned.
Secret Lair Tinker with just different arts from all the different universes beyond that we can tutor broken artifacts from. Dr. Octopus's armpit, frickin' Bilbo Baggins dildo. I mean, man, the list is endless. Frickin'
Tifa Lockhart's bra.
Yes, I was going to say butt plug. Haven't made a butt plug or a cam girl joke in years.
That's a long time.
Wow. The C in CCO, the first C stands for cam girl.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Tinker, I love this card. It's super cool. Gun to your head. We did this last week. Gun to your head. Tinker or Panoptic Mirror? Who's staying banned?
Tinker.
Tinker or Paradox Engine? Who's staying banned? Ooh, fuck yeah. That's a good one.
Because you're just going to tinker for the Panoptic Mirror. Or you're going to tinker for the fucking... So I would still leave Tinker banned.
Tinker banned. Yeah. All right. Tinker banned. You heard it here first. He wants Paradox Engine unbanned. He wants it unbanned.
Sure. I mean, I do.
Tolarian Academy.
Got to leave it banned. And here's why.
Gaia's Cradle's unbanned. Sarah's Sanctum's unbanned.
Gaia's Cradle and Sarah's Sanctum are both unbanned. That is true, but...
Wrath's Edge is unbanned. Shivan Gorge is unbanned. Wrath's Edge, different cycle. But Shivan Gorge, I died to that card.
Phyrexian Tower.
Phyrexian Tower. It's unbanned.
You look at... There's too many artifact tokens. Every fucking set comes out with scrap, junk, blood... Clue,
butt plug.
But there's so many fucking artifact tokens, and they're so easy to make because some of them are so goddamn bad.
Zero drops, jeweled bird, jeweled butt plug, jeweled artifact lands. None of those are banned, and there's like 15 of them now.
There has never been a game where I play the Izzet enchantment that makes treasures and then flips over into a Tolarian Academy that I have not won immediately upon flipping that land. Not a single one.
You said that last week about a card too. Never have I cast this card and not won.
Yep.
I only have one card like that.
There's a card because it's the Tolarian Academy, as you know, because you've played it in Commander, is so fucking strong in just an incidentally artifacty deck. And I played in Brutaclad because Brutaclad just makes tokens, and most of those tokens are artifacts.
You know what comparison I really like? Everybody says Gaia's Cradle and Sarah's Sanctum.
Yep.
While Sarah's Sanctum, gives you white off of enchantments.
Sure.
Enchantments usually cost more than 1 or 2 mana.
Yes.
Usually.
Correct.
And creatures die lots, and creatures usually cost more than 1 or 2 mana for Gaia's Cradle.
Also correct.
Okay. Tolarian Academy, you get artifact lands.
Yep.
It's mark against it. Big red X.
Yep.
But you know what I think a really good comparison for Tolarian Academy is Dockside Extortionist.
Or Channel.
Yeah,
Of your life, it's cards in your hand.
But listen to this. Yeah, exactly. Listen to this, though. Generally, Dockside is good because generally people play artifacts in their commander deck.
Correct.
And generally, Tolarian Academy is good because I play artifacts in my own deck. That's why Dockside's good, remember?
Yeah.
Imagine if I had a land that I could probably tutor for, search for if I'm playing black, tutor for land if I'm playing green, and I would want to play those 2 colors along with my blue deck. I can just add in a whole bunch of artifacts. And just like you say, I'm playing Magic, and now my island actually taps for 10.
Yep.
And it might be like turn 3.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yep.
I want this card unbanned so badly.
I would love to say we should unban this, but you can't. You can't unban Tolarian Academy.
Frick.
You can't. You can't.
Frick.
It's too strong.
Frick.
It has nothing to do with the cost.
I don't like this game
with
anymore.
Reserve list. It has nothing to do with anything. It's the fact that this card is too good on turn 1 because all it cares about is artifacts.
I got one burning a hole in a good box, waiting for it to get unbanned.
It's not gonna.
Frick.
It's gonna keep burning that hole, baby. Play Legacy.
Banned there
Banned
too.
in Legacy 2. Play Vintage.
Play Vintage. Merely restricted
Yes. Only one of them in Vintage because that's life.
in your 60 card deck. Okay, this is a fun card. I actually like this card lots.
I played this card in lots of decks.
This is Trade Secrets. This is a sorcery for blue 1, and it says draw up to 4 cards.
Okay.
One of your opponents, pick an opponent.
Okay.
They draw 2.
Yep.
Every time that they repeat this process, I can draw up to 4 again.
They can draw 2 as many times as they want. And every time they do, we can draw 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or none.
Yes.
And everybody draws.
The reason it's banned is because a little bit it created lopsided power kind of, or like power imbalances where if I target Brando, I say draw 2. Oh, yeah. Okay, I draw 4. You want to go again? Oh, yeah. I go again. You want to go again? Oh, yeah. And that would go on until I've got like 60 cards in my hand. He's got 20. He found his combo piece. I found 15 of my combo pieces. Yeah. And because it's my turn, I'll just play my hand of 40. And if I'm playing anything that doesn't make me discard or wants me to discard, I have it all. I've just won. I've just won because he wanted to draw cards. And we both get greedy. If I don't win, he's probably going to win. And it turned into not a fun card to play against, even though it was fun in theory to do.
Let me hit you with the very dark side of Trade Secrets.
Ooh, the deep web of Trade Secrets?
Let's say Ryan and Brando show up to a competitive 4 prizes event.
Yes. That we had to pay money to enter.
And now we're both playing Trade Secrets in our decks.
Yes.
And we've agreed going into the building that day that we're going to split all of our prizes and we're going to make sure that we're in the same pods all day.
As much as we can.
Trade Secrets allows us to collude with one another to essentially remove the other 2 players from the game. Because Ryan's going to play it and win, and if he doesn't, I'm probably going to win because the other 2 players are going to use their resources up stopping him. So they have nothing left to stop me because we have drawn everything we need.
Exactly. And if they did have resources, well, so does the other guy that Trade Secreted who just drew 20 or 30 cards.
And that's the ceiling of scumbag of how Trade Secrets can be used. But we have both played, sorry friends in Calgary, have played in Calgary enough to know that shit would go on.
That kind of stuff has happened. Yeah, for sure. The fun side of Trade Secrets, the reason that
super fun.
The reason I would like pick it for it to be unbanned is think of when I've got my Consecrated Sphinx and you clone my Consecrated Sphinx. And when I draw, you draw 2. When you draw 2, I draw 4. When I draw 4, you draw 8. And it goes and goes and goes until somebody's like, okay, hold on a second. I'm just going to kill both of them. And you guys have to discard. Or even better, one time I'm playing FUG off and I go, Trade Secrets. He goes, Oh, okay. And then we just start going. And he drew 35 cards or something, 36 cards or something until he's like, okay, I got my combo piece. I go, has everybody tapped out? Yeah. Jeff, you? Yeah. I go, Cerebral Vortex. Target player takes damage equal to numbers of cards they drew this turn. He took 36 and just died. He was like, oh, that's pretty good. I was like, yeah, I was hoping you'd keep going until I drew that to fucking get you.
Yeah.
And I got him. And that kind of stuff exists. And it punishes people for being greedy, much like 4 or 5 color decks when they get Blood Mooned.
Yep.
And if you want to get greedy with trade secrets, like maybe you're going to pay the price.
Yep.
But because of the collusion, because of the unfunness for 2 players at the table, if something's unfun for 3 players and they all bandy together to kill the 1 player who's playing stacks at a casual table, as an example.
Sure.
I don't mind that.
That's
because
fine.
Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah. You'll figure the puzzle out. You'll get them.
Trade secrets allows 2 guys to be the bad guy and just take a shit right into somebody's mouth.
They're just a mango-sized shit right next to the prize pile, and then their partner, while the other guy's shitting and you're so horrified, their partner just takes the prizes.
Yes.
And leaves. So I think that trade secrets should be banned, not because of what it does, but because how I think it would probably be used. And that's not an indictment on anybody, but I feel like we all can see the collusion happening.
Man, we are hitting up some heavy hitters. Our next card is Upheaval.
Fuck.
Return all permanents to their owner's hand. This is essentially Sway of the Stars, except you have to discard a whole bunch. This is essentially Sway of the Stars or Worldfire or Sundering Titan, except you don't like... It's just a different version of that, right?
It's Psych Rift, but it hits you too. And it hits lands.
Return all permanents to their owner's hand for blue 4 at sorcery speed.
Yeah. So like what you do to play this card, the argument, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap all my shit. I'm going to use 6 of my shits to Upheaval. Then I'm going to replay all my shit again. And you're going to go land, discard down to 7, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Right? And it has the same kind of an impact on a game as a Psych Rift does. But it can't be used as strategically and would probably just end up as like a one-sided kind of a drawn-out slog until the person that played Upheaval probably wins the game.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing, again, we talked about last week, the Chaos Gremlins, the Griefers that just play Upheaval, and fuck those people.
Yeah. Yeah, strategically, it was popular in Standard like back in 2001 or 2 because you could Upheaval and then recast your Psychotog. And Psychotog allows you to discard cards to pump it and then exile cards from your graveyard to pump it again.
Yeah.
So you would just Upheaval your whole board, discard down to just like make it an 8/8 and then make it a 12/12 and like 2-punch them or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how Upheaval Psychotog worked in Standard back then. But unless you're specifically leveraging discarding and exiling your graveyard, or man, I can't see any ways to play this that are a fun parity break or a fun puzzle for your opponents to solve, like trying to fight through a stacks lock is.
Yeah.
There's just no way to do it because it is so one-sided. And man, I want to say unban it because it does make one guy the bad guy.
Yeah,
it does do that.
Yes, it does all the things that we've talked about when you're going to be the bad guy. But I think this does it in such a way that it just fucking sucks.
What do you
win?
What are you unbanning? Sway the Stars or Upheaval?
Sway the Stars. I would rather do Sway the Stars.
Sway the Stars because it puts everybody to 7, and then you're playing like a little mini game.
Yeah,
there's a non-Scheherazade mini game.
There's some actual parity there, whereas Upheaval is just, again, it's that slow fucking grind you to death. Probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap my Tolarian Academy for 17. I'm gonna Upheaval, then replay all my stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna replay all my zero cost stuff. There's Tolarian Academy again, right? Why is Tolarian Academy still banned? Oh well, let me explain it to you,
bro. I'm going to tap Tolarian Academy for 21.
Yep.
I'm going to Upheaval, floating 15, cast Emrakul.
Yep, that'll do it.
Ooh,
that'll do, pig.
Ooh,
that'll do.
That'll do. Okay, so if you want that, let's unban all 3 of those cards. Okay, final card. I love this card.
And honestly, as we usually do with lists, I feel like the last card I think is, I'm going to say it, the least offensive of the bunch. I do.
Yawgmoth's Bargain.
Yep.
I love this card. I love the art. I love the effect. I love the set that it's from. I love that it's an enchantment. I love the mana cost. It's black 4 for an enchantment that says 2 lines of text, so you know it's good.
Okay.
You know it's good when all it's got to do is say 2 freaking things and it's banned.
Okay.
Skip your draw step.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Hit me up.
Pay 1 life. Draw a card.
Oh, shit.
AKA ramp to 6. Pay 39, draw half your deck, win the game.
Yes.
On like turn 2.
Yes.
Fuck, that's a good card. Man, I like that card. I wish I could play that card.
Now, I think that this should be unbanned.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
I want it to be unbanned.
I think it should be unbanned, not because I think it's awesome and not because I like it or whatever, but I mean, if you can play slow this, which is Necropotence, significantly slower, not the same card, but I'm going to use it as an example because it kind of does the same thing. I just don't think that Yawgmoth's Bargain at 6 mana as an enchantment is that egregious that it couldn't be a game changer.
I think that this could be a game changer when you compare this to Ad Nauseam. Ad Nauseam, I know you take 0 for drawing land, but you also take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 for drawing other things in your deck. So probably Yawgmoth's Bargain is a frickin' bargain if you want to draw 25 cards.
I'll bet you.
Because you know it's 25 life every single time. You get them right now. You can do it incrementally. So if somebody's trying to like get you, but you have to respond 1 at a time, it's better than Ad Nauseam. It's better than Necropotence in that way because you get the cards right now. And man, Black already has a whole bunch of draw X, lose X type things that if you chain them together,
it's the same thing.
Or if you chain them together, in addition to Bolas's Citadel, another black game changer where you go, oh, there's a draw 2, lose 2 on top of my library. I guess I'll pay 2 to cast my draw 2, lose 2. So I'm actually paying 4. And that's really good and that's fine. And people already do that. And that's okay. This is like more mana than that, but also a little bit better because it's less cards. Like,
when was the last time you've seen anybody play Greed?
Greed, yeah.
It's an enchantment for black 3. Pay 1 black and a life, draw a card. When was the last time? It's much worse Yawgmoth's Will. When was the last time you don't even know what it was?
Yeah, I did.
Nobody plays that fucking card. Nobody.
Greed, yeah.
Pay 2 life, draw a card.
Pay 2 life and a black to draw a card, 4 mana enchantment.
Nobody plays that. And I mean, because it fucking sucks.
Yeah, because it sucks. Because you got to pay black into it, right?
And if you did this, let's just use the example. I ramp to 6 on turn 2, pay 39 life, draw half my deck. You know what you could do there? Miss. Because in Commander, it's not half your deck.
Yes.
And you could hypothetically just get domed and then die to a Raging Goblin. Or 1 damage, which every single deck that you're playing against is capable of doing.
Yes, even the Themes Lady Looking Left decks can do 1 damage. Yeah, the thing about this, though, is you are pairing it with black, and you are pairing it with things like Bolas's Citadel, all the black tutors, because there's frickin' the most of them in that color, right? Yeah. This card, I can recognize why it's banned.
Yeah.
I can make comparisons to Necropotence and Ad Nauseam, like the ban article that Gavin put out, I think did. Like I've heard other content creators do. I'm doing the same thing, and I still want it unbanned just to see.
Yeah,
just to see, because man alive, this card is freaking good. And you know what happens when somebody knows that you're playing Yawg's Bargain in your freaking deck? You know what happens the next game?
Get brutalized.
You get freaking pounded. Turn 1. Get your chip-ins. Yeah. Hey, take 1. That's 1 less card you can draw. Oh, I got this untapped guy. Oh, yeah, take 3. That's 3 less cards you can draw. Yep. That doesn't take away from the power of Yawgmoth's Bargain.
And Buddy's like, but I don't even have the Yawgmoth's Bargain. And you're like, yeah, well, too bad. Shouldn't have played the last game.
This card, like many of the cards on the banned list and the Game Changers list, does change the game.
Yep.
And so much so, this card changes the game so much that it changes the meta game. It changes what people do about chip-ins and extra damage and those little things that you think don't matter. And sometimes people say, oh, yeah, it's just 1 life. It doesn't matter. Well, when you play Yawgmoth's Bargain, there's a meta game that actually revolves about that. And it matters. And I want to play Magic that matters. I want to do that. And this card lets me do that.
I think
that's cool.
I like that.
That's
too.
where I want to end. I don't think that this is don't think to end on.
No,
I think it's a really interesting discussion as to, is this card really... The answer is yes, it really is that good.
Yes.
The answer is yes, I have one. Yes, I want to play it. Yes, it's burning a hole. Yes, I wish I had a foil one.
I don't. I have a foil one, but I do have one too. I have one also, but I've never really wanted to play it, if I'm honest.
And maybe that's it. Maybe I don't want it on a game changers list because the deck I put it in doesn't have any game changers, and then my deck would immediately be a 3 if I'm holding myself to task on the bracket matchmaking system.
There you go.
And I wouldn't play it anyways, right? So ultimately, when you're downgrading, unless we're following the bracket matchmaking system's game changers list to a T, not a whole ton of this is going to matter.
Yep.
But I do want to see this card unbanned.
I think it would be cool too. I would just to see. Just to see.
And to that end, this is my final thought of the day.
Oh shit.
Just for like 3 months, for 1 quarter, unban everything.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah, let's go. Unban it all. Unban the world. Unban it. I'm ready.
I want to ask you one question, Ryan.
Sure.
I've been waiting to ask this question.
Sure. Hey, how are we doing for time there, producer Gary?
1 hour and 2 minutes.
All right.
Here it is. This is it. We're going to get to some comments on the pre-show next week because we ran out of time. Gun to your head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gun to both sides of your head.
Gun to your head means skip your draw step?
That's right.
I'm listening.
You can't pick a card present on the current ban list.
Okay.
But you have to ban 1 card for personal reasons. What card is it?
Brash Taunter. Fucking got him. Got him.
You got me so good. Fuck. Man, that is
it.
You want to ban the most powerful, most handsomest, most versatile card in the whole game. It makes sense. Wow, that was demoralizing.
Very.
You know what's not demoralizing? Saving money on Magic cards. And that's what you can do when you use CCO Holiday at FusionGamingOnline.com.
Very good.
The business daddies of our show. Or when you go and buy delightful beer from Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They are the second coolest thing to come out of Regina. You hit me so hard. I forgot what card I was going to ban, and I had a really good one.
Well, think of it for a minute. Curbside pickup, fastest games of EDH on YouTube. Just new episode just dropped. Our buddy Colton does those up. He plays with people in the nation. It's one of the benefits to becoming a patron. So get on the Patreon. Support is very much appreciated. And get into the Discord. Find Colton and the other people who schedule the EDH games and frickin' play. Which card would you ban?
I
don't remember?
I couldn't remember. But you know when I might remember it? In time for the next exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!